Ladies and gentlemen, I have an extraordinary poet with me today, a woman with very, very wide experience in different cultures, in different worlds. She is a woman with so many, many different talents and skills, has brought these to bear, and she has written just a tremendous poem, an epic, an opus, a tremendously powerful piece, so revelatory, so intimate, a vision and an insight into heart and into life today. Without any further ado, let me introduce Nayma Chamchoun, a marvelous artist and poet. Nayma, welcome, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be
Um,
here.
Before you read the piece, do you want to tell our audience anything about it, or do you want to just read it and then we'll chat about it?
I'll read it and then we can talk about it after.
Okay. Nayma, it's yours.
Thank you. After Alfred, a response to the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Let us stay here, you and I, when the dying sun bleeds into the sky, amongst your rainbow organized clutter, amber air filtering through the shutters, murmured discourse across the coffee table, as voices tenderly cosset like silken sable, romanced by the rapture that so easily enthralls our flirty festival, death to the Imam's calls, the grandiosity of Moroccan gelage, so befitting the moment, colourfully beaming, proudly, without encroachment, darkness sifting into the room, a tagine ashtray with smoky plumes. In the Casbah, women stop and chat, talking of victory in the World Cup. Scrolling through the scattered stalls of the souks, as dust nestled before settling on our skin, the musk and kufta infused air, our clothes drink in, the charmer and the serpent charmed by the flute, down dehydrated alleys with lumpy footpaths, who silently sigh imperialist epitaphs, the sunny fingers who poke through the arches, rubbing against our faces as she teasingly arches. Surely there is not enough time for the eternal soul to fully express the elation that rebukes the world's transgress. There is not enough time, not enough time, clawing at our arms and baring its fangs, the ebbing humanity that lingers in turn, as we scuttled into the acrid alcoves where the air whispered of olive groves. There is not enough time to consume all the joy, to face the forces whose gluttony only destroys, time to put the world to rights so that Ete, to stretch it across time and space, to stay. In the Casbah, women stop and chat, talking of victory in the World Cup. Surely there is not enough time to consider and reconsider the future's plans, to reprimand the existent that felt like a sham, to wonder when the crows first landed on the eye's corner, to recall the boastful fool, too frightened to disobey culture. They will say, it's such a shame, what a wasted life. Their pitying stares, feigning care, stabbing like a knife. See how the colour drains from my cheeks and my hair. I was once beautiful, my insecurities keeping me unaware. If I breathed you in and held my breath, could we stay, you and I, in eternity's depth? I have known the men who sexted and courted, acquainted with the over-familiarity of breaking wind and poking orifices, the romance long since dimmed, the holidays and cheap hotel rooms where I faked love to fill the gloom, faded cigarette smoke and designer perfume. They will say, Metaslash. I am familiar with them all, the rampant looking for a booty call, the Thai restaurants with lemongrass walls, the sexual role play that disguises ennui, the TV flashing an old childhood matinee. Should I flinch at the judgment of your double standards, scouring my sullied skin to wash away the hands? I have felt the hand that pinned my arms above my head, its fingers calloused and fat like sausages, the invented drama that attempts to assuage the coarse stubble that paws at your cheeks, the restlessness that fuels rendezvous in car back seats. Chanel blue on your t-shirt, and I forget. What was I saying? I served myself bare. Are you shocked yet? When we were seated on the wall above the sea, the ocean dressed in a veil of encrusted diamonds before the light shimmied into the ebony horizon. I should have accosted Father Time, cursed him for not granting more time. How the snow outside settles so comfortably, its Arctic breath drifting in with the draft, presenting merriment, bringing chaos, frosty rabid jaws that chill to the bone, pushing into our sensory nerves as we sit numbly, seeing your message flash on the phone. Your warmth surrounds me. I berate myself silently. This is not me. I scoff at love and the impossible reality sold. Am I a realist or a cynic? Maybe I am just too old. You knew I was afraid. I was terrified. After beef tagine and Moroccan fruit salad, after roll-ups and hot, drooling ate, to selfishly stop the seconds to say, let us stay this way, forever and a day, to tame the white noise with your fair-reed ballad, to balance on that flicker, hurtling through the infinite universe, behind a devoured Mother Earth, to embrace that ecstasy into my pulse, to say, I am Aphrodite, here to engulf, as my raging tides dissolve the gulf. Cliché, age mockingly snickers, amongst the dyed paint brushes and unfinished tableaus, the water in the jar tinged with plum, the way you always place your hand behind your back as the other moves across the canvas like a bird in flight, simultaneously awed and struck dumb. You are somewhere else, in the contours only an artist knows. Glimpses of joy and sorrow in a coat of many colours, where we spoke only in the tongue of the land of our mother, our clothes tossed on the floor, the eyes who lap up and store a catalogue of mannerisms to recall. I pleaded with time to mercifully stall. Christmas looms, and festivity finds no place in my will. Maybe the frenzied buying and gluttonous eating will obliviously pass me by if I just sit really still. The goodwill to all men as indelible as the greetings, the artificial tree still banished under the stairs, seems to goad me for my slovenly lack of care, taunting me with descent into old age. But I am so tired and all out of rage. Should I fritter away my pittance on age-defying creams, popping silicone, eating superfoods, and drinking green tea? I dismay at my wearied and sagging eyes, the way my breasts no longer shun gravity. Time's unrelenting, harsh reality. He does not wait for me. Walking along the beach, our steps tickling the tide, my black dress's hem dusted in the salt of the sea, me in a straw hat and the sun in our eyes. I would spend it all, gobble it all, night and day, wildly laughing in the face of advancing grey, if I thought it would keep us forever this way. Thank you.
Brilliant, my dear. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, my goodness. To hear a heart song that vivid uh, was just really breathtaking. And my dear, let me say one personal comment. You are a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful human being, and that heart, that soul, that mind, that life. You are an exquisite being, and it's an honor to be in your presence. Uh, you must keep writing that sort of clear work. It is amazing, very, very touching.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, Rick.
Well, I I I have to say it is one of the joys of my life to spend time with such creative talent as yours, and that I found this work and somehow can keep it going is a real joy to me. And if nothing else, an excuse to hang out with wonderful people like you.
Always a bonus.
Well, I have to ask you about your trip. You went back to Morocco. Am I correct that this is the first time in a while?
Yeah, I think the last time I went was probably 2019,
Okay.
before
Um,
COVID. Yeah.
eh, if you will, you live in a Britain in crisis. Uh, what what comparisons could you make with what you were seeing of life in Morocco in that vacation, that trip down there?
What comparisons can you make? I mean, certainly in Morocco, I mean, they're experiencing the same economic crisis as we are in the rest of the world. But I think there is like such a beautiful unity with the people, and you feel it. And I think maybe that was embodied in how well the Morocco team has been doing in the World Cup. And it just feels like there is such a joy in the air with everybody you speak to, like a little spring in their step, a little boost to their ego. Just everybody just seems to be high on life.
Well, that's a certainly a lovely thing. And if there was an excuse for sport, that has to be it. That it serves as a metaphor for people to come together and to support their idea, their culture, their time. That's marvelous. Um, I understand your book is getting well received. Can you talk about your recent book?
Yes, COVID, the wordy wilds of a mind under lockdown. This is the book. Yes, uh, it's been available to buy since October, and I've been very fortunate that I've had a lot of supportive friends and family, but also people who I've never really met before. I mean, I met somebody that I went to secondary school with, and I haven't seen in over 30 years, and I bumped into him, and he was like, "Oh, Nayma, we're so proud of you. I mean, your book," and I was like, "You know about my book?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." He's like, "I've got a copy at home." I was like, "Have you read it yet?" So I haven't had a chance to read it yet. But like all the people from back at school were so proud of you. You know, someone from our neighborhood who actually managed to publish a book, and it was a lovely experience.
Well, that's marvelous. I can only add my accolades. It's a marvelous book. Your writing is so lovely, so heartfelt. And to me, one of the best things about poets and poetry is um, you hear truth. You hear a heart's truth. You hear and see with the poet's eye. And it's so refreshing in a world full of so much, I'll put it gently, salesmanship. To hear truth, to hear real heart and soul truth, that's a
That's
beautiful
all.
thing. Well, congratulations again on your book. Tell people where they can get it.
Okay, the book is available to buy at Micah Press website, but also at Waterstones and Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and most good poetry stockists online.
Well, that's so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a real pleasure. And to hear the After Alfred again, just just breathtaking work.
Thank you so much
Keep
for having me.
writing,
It's been a pleasure.
keep writing, my dear. My pleasure and honor.
Thank you.
And so, on behalf of Poets of the East, I'm going to say thank you. Come back again, and I'll be seeing you soon, Nayma.
Much love. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, now we're just humans again. Wonderful to see you. How's your boys?
The boys are good. They'll be back this week. They're coming because university is breaking up for the Christmas holiday, so they'll be back down this week. Running up my heating bills and everything else, and my shopping bills. So yes.
Well, it's so good to see you, and again, congratulations on just a marvelous piece of work.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for having me.
Okay, bye bye, dear.
Bye bye.